Hello, everyone. Welcome to Always Open. On today's show, we're going to be talking about if we miss going back to school, the worst overnighter you've ever pulled, and a question from our lovely, very fancy box of issues. On today's show, you have me, Barbara Dunkelman, along with
Josh.
Yeah.
Dapper gentleman.
Lindsay.
Hi.
And it's me, your friendly neighborhood crybaby.
Why are you crybaby?
I'm always crying.
Why?
You know,
Yeah,
I
teardrop.
stay crying. I
Johnny
should
Depp
get it. Yeah, I should get a teardrop.
What is it this time?
What did I cry about? Yesterday, I cried about this video. It was this coach at some university, and his players found out that he went on tour with MC Hammer, and he was like a backup dancer.
Oh, yeah.
And so they
Saw
made
it.
him do the dance, and he did it so well.
Why did you cry about that?
It's like a happy cry, I guess. Like, so proud of you.
Cry, you know?
My favorite thing to do is look at Mariel's Twitter, because I think every week you post, like,
Yeah.
this is what I cried about today.
Yep. Yeah, I try to keep it consistent.
Nice. You're like me. Before the pregnancy, too, people were like, oh, you're so hormonal. You're pregnant, you're crying. I'm like, dude, I was crying long before this. About
Yeah.
the dumbest shit.
Yep.
What is your ratio, though, of happy cries to sad cries?
Oh, I would say most of the time they're happy cries. They're like just like things that like happy things that are happening to people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a lot of empathy.
They move you.
and so
You've
they
been moved.
I've been
Yeah.
moved to tears a lot of times. And then I cry I cried about like the hurricane and people that
Well,
are,
yeah. That's,
you know,
I feel like if you have
sad
a
things
soul,
that are
you
happening.
should. Or
Yeah.
you care about humanity.
You're empathetic.
What's the dumbest thing that you cried about?
Oh God. I mean, probably a dog video. I don't know.
That's not dumb, though.
Yeah.
I cried. There's a I think it's Extra Gum. There's a commercial, and I cry at it every time I see it.
I was just
Yeah.
going to ask if commercials made you cry.
There's
Yeah,
a-
it's a commercial.
It's a commercial about these like two people falling in love in high school, and he like draws pictures of her on the gum wrappers, and then like it like takes them through their story of like how they fell in love and her going off to work in a different city and coming back, and then it's this like she's in an art gallery and she sees all the pictures that he's drawn over the years, and then she turns around and it's him proposing to her, and I'm like, oh God, it's beautiful.
There was one I
want this gum.
I can't even tell you what it was advertising because I didn't even watch it. But Hulu has this thing where it's like you can watch a 3-minute commercial now, or you can do like 3 1-minute breaks. And I was like, oh, I'll just watch it. And so like I got on my phone and like literally only watched the last like 10 seconds, and it's like Grace Vanderwaal singing. And it's all about this guy who he's like a fisherman. He goes on these trips and he has a kid, and he's not really watching the kid grow up. I only watched like the last 10 seconds of it and was literally like sobbing throughout it. And I don't even know what it was for.
Well, you know what I cried about today? Having Josh back
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
You made it back.
I did, 2 seasons later.
And
So
you're just as
I dressed
fancy.
I know, I felt like I set a precedent with my tux in season 1, and now
You're kind of screwing
back.
yourself because like how many fancy outfits do you have? If we keep inviting you back on the show, you're gonna run out.
Well, the good thing about Rooster Teeth is we have a big wardrobe department. So I just keep borrowing stuff, especially as I get bigger and smaller, then there's always something for
Now,
me.
do you cry from commercials?
No.
Either in happiness or sadness?
No. That made me think of that. You remember Dumb and Dumber? There's a scene where they're crying at a commercial,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like they're watching, you think it's a drama, and they're like wiping their snot with like $100 bills.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what I
Yeah, I
do
don't
too.
think I've ever cried at a commercial. I said this the other day, I think.
Well, you're just an empty robotic
Yeah.
self.
I lied to a girlfriend in 8th grade and told her I cried at Titanic. Does that?
I feel like we should just wipe our tears with alcohol right now.
do it.
Is that something we could do?
I
Yeah.
always do.
We'll do our shot. I think we've done this shot before, but it's such a great
We like the name of it.
We're gonna do the duck fart shot.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought it was the bloody ball sack again because it was the same
Oh.
color, but duck fart's good too.
Not bloody this week.
Yeah.
This one is submitted by Matt, aka Tons of Fun. I guess maybe on Twitter.
On the RT site.
On the RT site. It has Kahlua, Bailey's Irish Cream, and whiskey.
Yum.
Okay.
Cheers, duck farts.
Cheers.
Do ducks taste? Are they Irish ducks?
Sure.
Oh boy.
Still good. Oh, it's still strong.
Oh, I think.
Meryl, you made this shot.
I did. Mr. Texas wasn't able to join us today. And so when Texas is out, I like to play bartender. And that one was a little too much, I think.
It was good. I liked it. I thought it was
Yeah?
good.
Yeah.
How good is that for my diabetes? Was that okay?
That was great. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention, we should probably play a drinking game every time Josh brings up his diabetes. We have to drink a shot. But
Are you truly diabetic?
I
don't know.
truly am.
Really? Truly
Wow.
is.
Yeah, I
learned
took the
something new
test. I
today.
won.
Wow.
They let me jump right past type 1 to type 2.
Jeez.
It was great.
all right, well
Congrats.
let's start
Thank
things
you.
off, and remember to take a drink every time Josh mentions diabetes.
Okay.
We're gonna do a little icebreaker, something we tried on our season premiere with Lindsay, called Cupidity. So this is a segment that we finally named. Cupidity.
Yep. And we got that from a Twitter user, a YouTube user. I'll insert it here.
So what we do is we gathered questions from the very popular dating website OkCupid, and we're going to speed round each of you these very fascinating questions.
Okay.
You ready to go?
I'm ready.
We got 30 seconds, and we're going to try to get through as many of them as we can. Granted, I'm a very slow reader.
Wait, so we get 30 seconds to answer, or it's 30 seconds total?
Total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
okay.
for you.
Okay.
They're usually pretty
Just
pretty
for
quick.
me.
Yeah. There's
go
some yes or no.
okay.
There's some.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
All right. We ready? And go. Would you consider dating someone who acquires most of their food from garbage dumpsters?
No.
How many porn stars can you name off the top of your head?
2.
Who are they?
Jenna Jameson and Ron Jeremy.
Nice.
Would you rather live forever or die happy?
Die happy.
If given the opportunity, would you swim with the sharks?
Yes, I've done it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're given one chance to travel through time. How do you use it?
Dinosaurs.
Fuck that.
Dinosaurs. That's a good answer. How would you guys use your time traveling skills?
I was thinking of Sound Like Thunder for you. You're gonna fuck up the space
I
time.
know.
You're gonna
Yeah.
step off the
Step on
path.
a butterfly.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Sean
Josh.
Connery's gonna be so mad.
Damn it. Thanks to
Yeah.
you, Hitler won.
I'd probably find some way to acquire a lot of money.
Yeah, like
that's-
sports betting or something like that?
Yeah, or maybe like lottery numbers.
See, people go with that first, obviously, like Back to the Future 2. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, you want to do that. I always go with, like, what can I bring back to horrify people? Like, I want to go back in time, not super far, maybe like to the 70s, and play dubstep and be like, these are the machines. This is their language. This is how they speak.
This is what happened.
Bring back a cell phone to like the 1920s.
Yeah.
Future.
I just want to get rich. Fuck everyone else.
Yeah.
I've always wondered that about like bad video games. If you took them back in time, like if you took Superman 64 back like 10 years earlier,
This is the
it would
future.
like blow people's minds. Like this
Oh,
is
yeah.
amazing.
And then we're just laughing, like, in 2017,
Yeah.
like, piece of shit.
Yeah. All right, Lindsay, you ready?
Let's
All right.
go.
Timer ready for Lindsay? Yes. All right. And go. Would you be jealous if your partner thought a fictional character was really hot?
No, because we both think the same. Go on.
Are you more horny or more lonely?
What? I guess now that I've had a child, I'm more horny. My sex drive's back.
How many books do you own?
A lot. More than 20.
For you, would getting amnesia be a good thing?
Yes.
Oh.
Because I'd forget a lot of sad things that I've done in my life.
Reflect back upon yourself of 5 years ago. How much would you have changed as a person?
A lot. Boom. Done.
All right,
I've changed
done.
a lot about myself. 5 years ago? Yeah. I was lazy as
How
hell.
old were you at 5? 5.
What was I? I was 5
I'm
years-
drunk.
That
How
is
old were you
incredible.
5 years ago?
I'm turning 28 this year, so I'm turning to 23.
Yeah, your birthday is September 6th.
6th, yeah.
Nailed it.
Yes.
And your birthday is February 12th?
19. You're close.
19.
Yeah.
May? March?
I'm amazed that Barbara knows any of these. I don't know anyone's birthday.
January? January?
Got it.
Nice.
What is it?
Combining 3 months.
made it there.
January 5th.
January 5th. Okay.
I love the month of January.
January.
Oh, man.
That was a strong shot.
Was it?
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, Mariel.
All right, let's do this.
Last but not least. Ready to go? And go. Do you feel that a major reduction of the human population is necessary for long-term survival of the Earth?
Oh, kind of.
Which do you regret more? The mistakes you've made or the chances you've taken?
Shit, I haven't done anything with my life. I guess maybe mistakes. I don't know.
If you had to choose, would you rather spend a year totally isolated from others or a year without ever being alone?
Oh. Oh. Yeah. I hate people, but I also don't like the thought of being alone.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
That's what pets are for.
I think I would choose the year of being alone.
Yeah.
Actually,
I feel
that
like
could
I
kind
would.
of fuck you up.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah.
there are people like they say like solitary confinement is like inhumane.
Right.
So if it was like if it was like I'm spending a year alone, but like doing something, like I'm traveling, but I'm like, you know, maybe then.
But without any human interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing like an eat,
So
pray, love.
what do you
shit.
do when you see someone though? When you're like walking by?
There's people that like go out to the woods for like a year to find themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if they come
true.
back better, but
A year
Yeah,
is a
no.
long time.
Yeah, a year's a long time.
I don't know when it was that they arrested the guy, but there was a dude, I think he was in Michigan, and he was just living off of the woods for a while, but he'd like kind of like steal food and shit from people's houses nearby.
Yeah,
You just
I
lived as a
wouldn't-
woodsman. Yeah,
Couldn't date him then.
yeah no, sorry, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barbara, it's your turn. Ooh, this is my favorite.
We've decided that I have to do
Does
this
it.
every time. Originally, I was just gonna ask you guys, but
Yeah, we got to learn more
This
about
is
it.
a good one. Okay, are you ready? I like doing them because I read the questions and they make me laugh and then I can't ask them.
Oh.
All right, we're ready? All right, go. Would you feel uncomfortable if your partner's pet saw you masturbating?
no.
Oh, God.
How many people do you know who you could share anything with, no matter how private?
6.
When people seek advice from you, what do they usually get? Say good things.
I probably bullshit a lot.
Really? Barbara, you give me a lot of advice. It's all fake. Would you rather be tied up during sex, do the tying, both, or avoid bondage together?
Both.
Altogether. Oh, both. Ooh.
Not at the same time, though.
Is there such a thing as too muscle on a male? Too much
Yes,
muscle?
too many months. Yeah, absolutely.
I can just see
At the
two
same
people
time.
tied down
Yeah,
and
just
like,
a-
we didn't think this through.
That team building exercise, you got to step over each other's
Yeah.
arms and stuff.
They're
get
trying to
out.
like lick each
Like
other,
an
but they
escape
can't
room.
reach.
It's like, keys under the bed.
But no, there's definitely like such thing as too much muscle on a guy. Ugh. I feel like,
Agreed.
hey, you live your life the way you want to live, but if like, I don't know, bodybuilders creep me out a little
What's
bit.
too much? Like
Yeah.
a John Cena? Is that too much?
Like if you can't wipe your own ass.
John Cena is a very attractive man.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
best like comparison I could think of is I saw a video once of a bodybuilder who was given the first pitch at a baseball game, and they're all like, "Yeah, this guy's fucking ripped. He's gonna whip it in there. It's gonna be amazing." The dude couldn't even like bend his arm.
Yeah.
His biceps were so fat, so he went. And it went like 3 feet, and I was like, "That is exactly why I don't date bodybuilders."
It's like that SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob has the inflatable arms. And everyone thinks he's buff, but he just has inflatable arms and he can't do anything with them. Anyone?
I just feel
Yes,
like it's
I know.
like if you can't even grab yourself, you can't grab me. Like that's just not gonna
You
work.
can't love yourself. Who are you gonna love? Who you gonna love, buddy?
It just got really deep. I was like, "Oh man."
Well, thanks for playing. I'm always so baffled by the questions that we find from OkCupid.
They're so good.
These are real questions that they ask on their dating website.
Also, I saw a lot of comments too. Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear other people answer the same questions too. So I'm trying to think of like the major ones that you guys listed through. Obviously, we talked about relatives dating last time.
Yeah.
I like the
Relatives.
are you more horny or lonely?
Yeah, I was like, what?
That's such a sad question.
My favorite one was the one that you asked me, and it was like, "Are you annoying?" It's like 100% correct.
Yes.
Yes, and 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's move on to our next segment. We're going to just have a little chat. It's not a particular question, but it is end of August. People are coming back to school. All of us have been out of school for a very long time, so I just wanted to know if you guys miss going to school.
Just this weekend, I was driving by UT and just had a weird thing. It's like, oh, it was kind of nice to like, just like, I think college is a lot more carefree than the job, even though I love what I do and
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff. But it's like, yeah, there's just something, I don't know.
It's almost like there's a fail-safe net, and I mean, people would disagree with like student loans; those will bite you in the ass later.
Yeah.
But while you're there and you don't think about it, it's great.
Great.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I can, I'll miss a few classes, or maybe I'll spread out my classes so I can kind of like go hang out on the lawn or throw a frisbee around or
Yeah.
like go film something. With a job, yeah, obviously you can't do that. 9 to 5, your ass is at your chair. So
Yeah.
I definitely miss going back to school. I think I miss going back to high school.
High school.
I
miss parts
Ooh,
of
I
high
would
school,
never
too.
go back.
Which
to
is
high
very ironic. I think the thing I liked about high school, it's gonna sound like super superficial and stuff like that, but I always had such a fun time like picking my first outfit that I was gonna wear on the first day of
Nice.
school.
you were like me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you had everything organized in a
Yeah.
binder. You're like, first day, all my notebooks, red is for language arts.
Yeah, that's how I was too. But I don't miss high school at all.
Oh, I miss
Probably
parts
because
of it.
my high school experience and my college experience were like just completely different.
How so?
Well, I mean, because in high school I was like, closeted little gaby, and then in college I was this flamboyant butterfly. Spread my wings.
Excellent.
My wings.
Did you ever go back to visit high school like after you graduated or no?
Oh, I think like maybe like my freshman year I might have walked in, and then I was like, oh, I hate this place. Like, why am I back here?
See, it wasn't like I hate this place because I had younger friends. And I was like, that's fine. I'll come back and visit you guys. And they were nice enough to come to my graduation. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'll be back. So I came back. And then, like, the second I got into the campus, I was like, I feel like I don't belong here.
Yeah.
Because I clearly didn't. But it was
Yeah.
really like, I don't know, this coming of age moment of like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that part of my life is done now.
Yeah.
It's always
See you
weird.
later.
I went back to my high school recently because there was like a teacher there that I was friendly with, and I was like, I want to go visit this teacher. I'm back in my hometown, and I walked into high school and I look around, and I was like, was I this little in high school?
Yeah.
people there are tiny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what Josh was just saying about college too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like college, like freshmen, sophomores, like they look weird. They look
seniors
like
now.
they look like little Gumbies.
Yeah.
like their bodies aren't like balanced out yet.
Well, especially
Yeah.
a lot of the sorority girls wear the what was the Sophie Shores with this huge ass
Yeah.
t-shirt.
Yeah,
They look
always.
extra Gumby.
That
Yeah.
never goes out of style too.
Yeah.
That was in style like 10 years
Well,
ago.
the best is a meme that I saw. It's like I only have 2 modes, and it's that or the sorority girl like super dressed up like
Yeah.
to the nines. Yeah.
I always loved in college seeing college girls going out downtown because it's in the middle of Canada in the winter. Girls wearing like short dresses and like stiletto heels,
And it's freezing, but they don't care.
but with giant parkas on.
Oh, really?
They're just like
Oh,
walking down the street like.
See, I've seen the ones in New York City where it's like freezing ass. You're like, Jesus Christ, I don't know how you're outside right now. And they're wearing like these shortest dresses with like no cover at all. They don't care. Like,
Even here in Austin, I mean, it doesn't get that cold, obviously, but my friends that would dress like that would always be like, "Oh, we got our blankets on." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, "Oh, our alcohol blankets."
Oh yes, the
They'll
whiskey.
warm
The
you.
whiskey blanket, yeah, they just get like fucked
You have
up.
the vodka in the water bottle in
Yep.
your purse. Yeah.
The e-bus. You guys remember the e-bus?
Yeah, I do.
What's the e-bus?
The vomit bus.
The e-bus
basically.
is a bus that goes throughout the like whole neighborhoods of campus and just picks up kids to take them downtown to party.
It's always packed though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
And-
the thing that has a stripper pole in it? Or am I thinking of
Oh
something
no,
else?
no,
No.
Those are just regular. This is like this is like the city metro.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's called the vomit bus because everyone goes downtown or comes back from it. So there's always someone passed out drunk. There's vomit everywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes piss or shit.
Is it free?
If you're a
Yeah.
UT student, yeah, the Cap Metro is free.
Yeah.
Yeah, your student ID allows you to.
Yeah, you guys all went to college together.
Well, no, we didn't.
Well,
go
different
to
I mean, not at the
Yeah.
not at the same
Yeah,
time, but I mean, like you went.
Which
to
is
the same
weird.
college.
It's true. Like people talk about colleges or like different classes we took. I'm like, oh yeah, I took that. But like 2 years after you, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like same thing with Mariel. She goes
Yeah.
on and on about what she did. I'm like, oh, I did the same thing, but at a different
Yeah,
time.
we were all there at like just different.
Yeah, you went to school what in the 70s?
Yeah, in the 70s. That's where I got this jacket.
Nice.
So it was a good time. It was crazy.
Still
Everyone
rocking the
was-
stash. I
Yeah.
like it.
I know Aaron has said this multiple times, but like he said that he basically paid to go to college to meet you, Chris, and Zach.
Yes.
That's-
I completely agree.
That's kind of the same with me and Miles.
He did pay.
It's like Miles is the reason that I work here for sure.
Yeah.
If he had not given me a recommendation to Matt Hullum, I would not be
Yeah.
here.
It's crazy how much of school is so dependent on your connections.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How that makes it all worth
A lot
it.
of people ask her, like, I'll get fans tweeting me, like, what's the best thing you can give, advice you can give for being in film? Like, networking, honestly.
Yeah.
There is a bit
Honestly,
of luck in it.
any program. Any program
Yeah.
in networking, I think, is like the #1 priority.
Yeah.
Well, and what I came to learn about networking too is like it's kind of presented wrong at first. It's like, oh, you just got to go to all these mixers and like meet and like it's
They,
just like
they
it's like
sell it, yeah,
schmooze.
they sell it like a sleazy way. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
what can I get out of this?
But the
Yeah.
truth is, like, you just have to find people that you have a genuine connection with and that you actually like working with, and
Yeah.
those have paid off. For
Well,
me.
especially in Austin, there's so
Yeah.
many people making films or filling out these parts that they want to. Like screenwriters, I'm sure have contacted you and said, "Hey, I want to make this." And you say, "Hey, I'm a filmmaker. Let's partner up."
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now you've formed your own little group of filmmakers together. That's how you guys have Lark the Beard. Same thing.
And also
I,
just
I
like,
technically wasn't in Lark the Beer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
oh really? Oh, that's a
External
touchy subject.
contributor, third party. Yeah.
I guess the thing I miss the most though is, or when I think about college, I think about all my friends and having my friends in such a close vicinity. And
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna go over to your house after school and like.
I miss the lack of responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That I had, especially in high school. College, I feel like was like a kind of middle ground for me.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Yeah.
you're slowly getting more responsibility, but you're also still like.
It's a
young.
weird limbo because you're like, I
Yeah.
can't spend as much money as I want to on this. I have to make sure I like manage myself and budget, but at the same time, I'm gonna get trashed and get some,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get some Tito's here.
I do remember, or
You love that Tito's.
I do. Yeah. Good. Tito's.
I think the thing I miss most is just like the amount of energy I had. Also,
God,
like I was
yes.
able to stay up till like 3, 4 in the morning, no problem.
Well, what time did you guys wake up for school? Like in high school? Because I got up at like 6:30
Oh,
every
and
day.
for high
for
school.
high
I
school?
got early because I was in cross country, so I'd run
Yeah.
in the mornings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Swim team, baby.
Yeah.
I was on a lot of sports teams that would practice at 7 a.m. usually,
Yeah.
but my school only started I think 9:30,
Oh my god.
Oh, really? Wow. It's
Yeah.
8 o'clock for us.
Canadians.
and we finished
Yeah.
at like 3:30.
Yeah, I was like 8 to 4.
Yeah. I made the horrible mistake too of in high school since I got up so early. I was like, you know what? College is here. I'll have 8 a.m. classes every day. No
Bitch.
problem. And then I was like, why did I just fuck myself really
Yeah.
hard?
Do you remember like in college how you would go somewhere to pregame for like going out?
Have you done
I
tailgating
still
parties
do
or
that.
no?
Yeah, I still go to friends' houses and like,
Yeah, but,
let's
like-
get drunk here first.
Well, now
and
it's
then
like
we
the
go.
sad pregame
That's like
for
every
us. Where it's
day.
like, I pregame to drink inside of my house like, for the Game of Thrones finale.
When an adult is, yeah.
No, but I-
Baby's asleep. Let's go.
we used to go out at like 12 or 1 o'clock. Like that's when we would hit the
You
town.
go out, yeah.
Right.
And now it's like by midnight I'm like,
Yeah, now when we all go out, it's like, okay, let's like get there at like 8, and then like, well, it
Drink
depends.
for a
Some
little
of
bit.
us will stay out all night, but most of them.
Most
I know
of us.
Barbara and I are like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of the movie moment comparison too, where it's like you guys partying back in the day, or even just a few years ago, where it's like woo, and then it cuts to you guys like it's too loud in here.
It's so
too
accurate.
loud.
Barbara hates going to bars because of that, because
I
it's
hate
like
it.
super
I do too.
loud, it's hazy, and you miss.
Yeah.
Barbarellas is pretty gross. This is a
It's
pretty
disgusting.
gross place.
It's a-
yeah.
I've said multiple times, it's like where you go to sin.
There's
Right.
a lot of parts on 6th Street that are gross too. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, someone's
I have to be
shat here.
mentally prepared for Barbarellas before I go out at all.
Yeah.
Like Mariel's birthday was a couple months ago, and we knew that she wanted to go out, wanted to go to this bar, and then
Yeah.
I knew that she'd want to go to Barbarellas, and I'm like,
course.
okay, I'm prepared, I'm ready, like I'm gonna go hard that night, and we did.
I took a shot out of your belly button.
Nice. But like 99.9% of any other night when someone's
Yeah.
like, let's go to Barbarellas, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm a homebody, except there's very few times during the year that I like to go hard. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're kind of the same. I mean, obviously less so now that we have a kid, but beforehand, the biggest thing that happened beforehand was Michael got really, really trashed and tried to fight a parking garage.
I was there that night.
Yeah.
a parking garage,
Like on the
Garage,
floor.
yeah, like he
Actual
literally
garage.
sat down at one point like anime style and started going "Ah," like back and forth, and I go, "You can't win!" Like I'm drunk too, so I
Yeah.
was like, "You can't win, Michael. You can't do it."
Was that the night that Kara kicked him?
Yes, yeah, with her stiletto.
Yeah.
That was brutal too. She was also drunk and pissed off and like kicked him because he was being an asshole. In classic Michael style.
Yeah.
But
Classic
Michael,
Kara and Michael style.
Yes, so it's just like all this bad juju mixed together, and I'm just sitting here on the side, like, guys, get along. Everyone be nice now.
Yeah. I think you and I were just like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm like, I just want to get drunk, man. Like, can we not do this?
Yeah, I used to go out with you guys a lot back in the day when I first moved to Austin.
Oh yeah, it was like you, me, Gavin,
Michael.
Michael, yeah, and every now and then like, even that was before Meg came along. Then we had Meg and like the whole crew. We had like a lot of Rooster Teeth people would come. Miles and Brandon. That was one of
Yeah.
the first times that we hung out. We got hookah together.
Oh yeah,
If you remember that.
back in the day.
mems.
Good
I
times.
miss having a social life, and I think that's the thing I miss most about college. It's just
Social
Yeah.
life, yeah. It's like a built-in social life. Or yes, I mean, I feel like here that's kind of goes the same. Like, you know, you have your group of friends that you go out with, but God, in college it was like
we
nonstop.
got real responsibilities now.
Yeah.
Some of us have shows that
Well,
we write.
Right. Goodness.
So you were talking about high school into college. Like
Yeah.
mine was different because I went straight from high school into the army, and I was in the army for
Oh, I
3
forgot
years.
about that.
Yeah, and then I went to college. So for me, college was like this nice. It was a nice reprieve because I had just done 3 years of like really intense responsibility, and because the military is crazy. Like if you don't,
Yeah.
whatever. Like if you don't show up for like morning formation to work out at like 6:30 a.m. Like in theory, if you just missed that, if you slept in, they could knock you down in rank. They could like knock your pay. They could like, I think there's scenarios they could throw you in jail for a night and all this. It's like just imagine like breaking a work rule, but having like a legal repercussion. Like that's what the army is.
We're like super, super
I'd be
strict
in jail
parents.
forever.
Yeah.
I'd
crazy.
be fucked.
They have their own court. It's the UMC, Universal Court of Military Justice or whatever. It's their own legal system too.
Oh my
It's not
God.
even. Yeah.
Where did you serve?
In the States, I was stationed at Fort Hood.
Okay.
I went to basic in Georgia at Fort Benning, and then I was in Iraq for a year. So.
Gotcha.
I totally didn't realize that you started so late. Because I forgot that you're like a little bit older than
Yeah,
the other
I'm
guys.
exactly 3 years older than like everyone.
Because of UN.
Because the army, yeah.
So you didn't know any of them before that.
No. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
And I only met Aaron and Chris perfectly. Like Zach was the talented one, so I went on my way to meet him.
Understand.
And I met these
Yes.
other two idiots.
It's
you know.
true. It's
Yeah.
true.
And Marshall too. So.
It's true.
And Marshall.
Yeah.
So how long was your basic?
It was 13 weeks.
Damn.
Because it was infantry, so usually it's 8 or 9 weeks, and then you go to like advanced, whatever your job training is. But because infantry is basically the stuff you learn in basic, they
Right,
just do a
right.
really intense.
I only know
like,
Marine
3 months.
background.
You had to
so-
shave
Yeah,
that pretty
it's
hair.
I think it's similar to Marines.
Okay,
Like
cool.
yeah. I did. I shaved it all. I had long hair too in high school, so it was buzzed it all.
I've seen pictures. You posted some recently.
Yeah.
It's like, Josh?
I looked hot.
Yeah, you did. What happened?
He put on a suit.
College.
Now he's crying at commercials.
Yeah.
You've lost your edge.
Ugh.
I have no good segue for this.
I was gonna say, what's the texture of your suit? What's the texture of your hair?
What's the texture? Because this episode is sponsored by Texture,
There you
Hey.
go.
which has nothing to do with hair. Wouldn't it be great to be able to read all of your favorite magazines at a moment's notice? Wouldn't it be, Josh?
It would. Tell me more.
Introducing Texture, the app that lets you read all the latest news and culture magazines like Vanity Fair, New York Magazine, Interview, and tons more right on your tablet or phone, anytime, anywhere. The Texture app has gone beyond delivering just the magazine itself. They've made it easy to enjoy the articles you want to read with daily recommendations, exclusive interactive features, and videos, and more. Texture makes magazines easy, and there are so many great ones out there, like Time, Rolling Stone, and Fast Company. Texture is searchable. You can mark what you like, check out back issues, view bonus video content, and they even curate articles and magazines just for you, or whoever you're giving texture to this year. Texture is normally $9.99 a month, and you get over 200 magazines, but if you sign up right now at texture.com/alwaysopen, you get a 14-day free trial. Right now, Texture is offering my listeners a 14-day free trial when you go to texture.com/alwaysopen. That's 14 days to try Texture for free when you go to texture.com/alwaysopen. Texture.com/alwaysopen. I like how it says my listeners too, not our listeners.
Yeah.
They're just yours. They're all yours. They're all here for you.
Just mine. Check it out. I used to read magazines all the time.
Yeah.
I read them on the plane.
Well, I downloaded the app because of that. Like, I'm going to Seattle this weekend, and I always buy an Fast Company because I like to pretend like I'm business savvy.
Nice.
So you're just on the plane reading it,
Yeah.
like, looking cool.
So now I can just have it on my phone.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like it. Well, this might play into our previous topic, but I picked this one for multiple reasons. One, day 5, season
5.
2, currently
Yep.
in the works.
Halfway done.
I want to know what the worst overnighter you've pulled is, and this one's submitted by Beth A. I think I've talked about this on a previous episode, or maybe the podcast, but there was one time where I had a final exam at 4 o'clock, and then I had another one at 6 p.m. the next day, and I had no time to study for both of them, so after I finished the exam at 5 o'clock, I went straight to the library and just studied for the next one, just like crunched all the information into my brain until 6 p.m. that night. And after the exam was done, I went to a coffee shop to get a coffee because I was just like completely out of it. And I meant to order a chai tea latte, but I ordered a Tai Chi latte. And the girl at Starbucks was just like,
Hi.
She just kicks your ass.
That's funny. Goodness.
but there's like some type of delusion that starts when you're in a library by
Yeah.
yourself, just looking at textbooks, and there's no one else around you. And it's just this like hole of
It feels like the beginning of a zombie apocalypse movie.
Oh, yeah.
For
It
me.
does.
Or that's how it used to feel anyways. I'm like, is anyone else still here?
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
alone? Okay.
hello. I may have masturbated in a library one time.
Nice.
This has nothing to do with that. It made me think of that moment. Yeah.
We should have a new game where anytime you bring up masturbation, we have to.
You have to drink. Oh, you guys are at a drink.
That's
Drinks
me.
empty.
Yeah. I like also that before we started, you're like, hey, this will make you last the whole time. And in my head, I went, no, it won't. Not being-
Last.
I know we got no texts today.
Yeah.
hey, that's okay.
For me, there was a finance exam that I was like terrified of. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to stay up all night and study for it. So I started at the PCL, which is like the Perry Castaneda Library here at UT, and it's like a 24-hour library. But I was there with some friends for a few hours, and then they like
Are all libraries not 24 hours on your campus?
No,
No.
there's
I don't
some that
think
goes
so.
down. Yeah.
the most beautiful one, which is the library in the main building, which is the tower, and it literally looks like a Hogwarts library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
the
it's pictures
life
of that.
science library, I think that's what it's called. But that one is like open like 2 hours a day.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Yeah.
no, but Anyway, so I stayed there until like 2 a.m. and that's when my friends left. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the TSTV building, the war room. I'm gonna finish studying there. Because usually you could have access, and like if you were on like the staff, you had keys or whatever. So like I broke in there and was studying until I think like 5 in the morning, and I was like, okay, I have to go home and take a short nap and like wake up and study some more. And at that point, I was living at the Triangle, which is
Oh, yeah.
the Triangle apartments.
It's a good area.
Yeah, it was a great area. Couldn't afford to live there after college. Thanks, student loans. But so I go back and I'm like trying to pull into my parking spot, and like the gate won't open. Like my clicker won't open the gate. And I was like, oh fuck, that's weird. Oh well. And so I'm like, I'll just park in the guest parking and walk in through the door. So I walk in. The clicker, you have to use the clicker to open the doors, and those aren't working either. I call my roommate and I'm like, hey, like I am stranded. I need you to let me in. She's like, I'm not home. Like I went and at my girlfriend's house. And so I was literally like just sitting in the parking lot of at the Triangle, which, there's like a huge like parking area in the middle of all these buildings, like sitting there crying, just like, Mariel. Like, oh my God. Yeah.
Like, fuck.
I was literally just like sitting there crying, like, what am I gonna do? Like I can't get in, I can't sleep, like I'm losing it. And then out of the middle of nowhere, like a beacon of hope, I see this tiny pug crossing the street.
Of course you do.
And I'm like, oh fuck, if there's a pug, that means there's gotta be a person, right? And so like, of course, like just a few seconds behind comes this guy and he's like taking his dog out to pee. And I ran up to him, I was like, please let me into the building. Like, I swear I'm not crazy. Like, I live here, I can't get in, I had a test, like, please. And he was just like,
Okay.
And then did you order a Tai Chi latte?
and then I ordered the Tai Chi latte.
That wasn't his pug all along.
No.
That was a wild pug, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But that I still think of that pug, and I think of that pug and how it saved my life because I was like,
Do you see that pug every now and then? Like,
no,
when
I don't
shit
live there
happens?
anymore.
Oh.
You know, but like just like it's like
you're
And-
Sirius
yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
He's, like, checking in on you.
You're like Simba in The Lion King,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like the pug comes up in the clouds. You have forgotten who you are, so you have forgotten me.
yeah. But yeah, man, that was probably like that's still probably like one of the worst nights because I just like you said, you feel so weird and like it felt weird and desperate. And just
Yes.
like I don't know what
It's
it
Go
was.
back to
crazy
like
how
dumb
much
shit
you're-
you cry about though. Like that's something I would cry about. It's like I
yeah,
can't
I
help
was
Mariel.
sobbing.
I can't help past
Especially if
Mariel,
you're
but it made me
exhausted.
sad.
Yeah,
Which I'm sure is something that you cover a lot.
I know. Well, I've-
It's funny watching Day 5 though because it's like I've been in situations where I've been that tired.
Yeah.
Maybe not that tired. 5
Yeah,
days
we
in,
take
it's
some
like-
creative liberties. I think like 5-6 days in, people would be pretty like out of their mind.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I think that's what's cool about the show though too is that like there's all these other apocalypse shows where the you have to have a certain suspension of disbelief. Like Walking Dead's like, okay, I have to think what would I do with zombies, whatever.
Right.
But like with Day 5, it's like everyone knows what it's like to
Yeah.
be dead tired and still have to study or work or whatever
Or
it is.
function in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think Bernie was telling me allegedly he got some of the idea for Day 5 or some of the concept anyways was from being a parent and staying up all night with their baby. And he was like asking me like, how are you feeling? I'm like, luckily for me, she's letting me sleep. I'm good,
Nice.
but I
Yeah.
feel you.
Yeah. You get to that level of delirium where you're just like, oh.
That's awesome.
Well, what's your worst overnighter?
I'm sure it's an army one. There were times.
That's
there-
common practice.
Yeah.
Like,
Now I feel like
I know
first world
I know
problem.
it sounds.
Like I was studying. I was exhausted.
Well, I remember one time in Iraq, we were doing. I technically did get sleep, so I don't know if it counts as an all-nighter, but there was like a 3 or 4 day period where we were doing 4-hour patrols and then 4 hours off and then a 4-hour patrol. And we did that straight for like 5 days. So it was just like jumping in a Bradley or walking around town, and so I don't have any good stories from that, but I do have a good story from when we were back at Fort Hood once. Occasionally, especially infantry, they like to give infantry like the worst jobs. They're like, oh, there's some like crap detail that no one wants to do. We're gonna give it to the infantry. I'm like, cool.
Infantry is like, unfortunately, is like the bitch work.
Yeah.
They get shit on a
Well,
lot.
they're like, if
They
you're not,
should.
they're like, if you're not fighting, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like, you can
I'm
sweep
trying,
this.
damn it. I'm
Yeah.
trying.
So we had this one weekend where we had to. It was Easter weekend, and we had a 48-hour guard ship, and we had to guard an
God.
ammo depot for 48 hours on base. And so we would walk. I think we'd do like 2-hour patrols. It was the whole like 30 guys.
You also have to be alert too. Like
Yeah.
that's just not just you're standing in a place. You're like I assume always watching and.
Well, like you would do 2
Patrol.
hours on and then like 4 hours off or something. So you could technically nap. But then when we were in like this, and they had a little place for us to stay. We were watching movies, and I just remember like we would, people would keep throwing on. Everyone brought their DVDs. We'd be watching these random DVDs, and then for some reason, someone brought Mean Girls.
Nice.
And as soon as
Lucky.
I know, as soon as they put on Mean Girls, everyone stopped what they were doing and went and watched Mean Girls.
'Cause
This
it's a damn good movie.
I know.
Yeah.
This
Anyways.
whole army infantry platoon just stopped and watched Mean Girls. That's how good it was.
Also, I imagine it like good-looking
the girls are super hot.
Yeah.
Oh
Michael still hasn't seen it. It's bullshit.
man,
Yeah.
can I say like I don't get celebrity crushes often, but I had the biggest crush on Lindsay Lohan back
Oh,
then.
really?
She was Super
See, I thought you
cute.
were going to say Rachel.
No. And then
Adams.
I was in the grocery store one day and I saw the magazine where she had like done a bunch of drugs and dyed her hair blonde and she'd suddenly gotten really skinny
And
and
you're
like
even more attracted to her.
oh
John's
no,
like,
my
boy.
heart broke. I've never had that happen with a celebrity. I was like, oh,
No. Lindsay, why?
yeah, I dropped my gum and everything. And it was just like, it was the worst. So
Lohan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan and Amanda Bynes, I think, are two
Yeah.
celebrities that
Amanda
used to. They just went.
Yeah,
I
well,
still
think-
follow Amanda on Twitter because I will love
Yeah.
her till the end of the days.
Yeah,
But yeah, she's lost it.
She's getting it back. She's getting it back.
Yeah,
she's
she's
getting her groove
coming back.
back.
You think so? Well, she had that interview, didn't she? Where she was like, sorry, guys, I
Yeah.
kind of lost it there.
Yeah, and then they were like, well, what about the Drake comment? Because she said, she tweeted at Drake and she was like, I want you to murder my pussy.
Yeah. it was
And they were like, well, what about that? Like, that happened during like your whole spiral. And she was like, no.
I didn't know she
I want Drake to murder my pussy. Like,
that still stands.
Right.
that's still here.
Don't take that off
Yeah.
the table.
And I think Lindsay Lohan's like hanging out with like the president of Turkey or something weird.
yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what she's doing.
Very
Are you
interesting.
jealous?
now that I know that. Yeah.
Do they have for basic, at the end of Marines basic, they have a thing where you have to stay up for 48
Yes.
hours? Okay, you do the same thing.
Forget what it's called, but it's like it's a 20, how far do you go? It's a 31-mile trek. And you stay up for, like a day
It's
and
insane.
a half, 2 days.
Yeah. And you got to just like find little naps here and there. But there's constantly people
Yeah.
who are like ambushing you. Like they're doing real world tactics. They're trying to train you for it.
Yeah.
So you can't really rest.
And you're
be
carrying
like,
a big rucksack full of stuff, and we stopped and did like 8 of our 31 miles or whatever. We stopped at this one place, and we would do like these 2-mile missions, like out and back. And so like one of them, I remember we were carrying like these ammo cans on our backs that were like 120 pounds.
Jesus.
It was it like busted my knees for a while because it was just so crazy. It's
insane.
And then there's a weird like cultish torch ceremony at the end of it when you make it back.
I feel like we could do like a whole episode based off your experience. in the
Yeah.
military.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like
Shit.
for all the things
So
that I've
many questions.
experienced just from like visiting military bases is like shit's insane. It's like a whole other culture
Yeah.
there basically.
It's weird.
So,
but then
you're actually like in it.
yeah,
What the
but
Canadian military is like.
probably really fun.
I assume.
Yeah.
A lot less serious.
Eating
Yeah.
Tim Hortons.
It's like pancake day every
Timbits
day.
all the time. Yeah.
Just like a big slumber party.
Maple syrup on a stick.
So what made that the worst for you then? It sounds like fun.
Well, that was fun. The Iraq ones are the worst for
Yeah.
sure. I don't know how I would compare them to anything else because you're just so stressed out and there's no real.
Yeah, I'm with Barbara. We're like, shit, I had to study and it was
Yeah.
hard. Life was hard.
I'm
Yeah.
so tired. Let me go get my chai tea latte.
Yeah.
Basically.
I feel like it goes back to like that question, the like, do you miss the chances you didn't take, or whatever that was?
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I haven't lived anything. Like I haven't lived anything.
So
to
you look
regret.
back and you think you should have joined the army. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I
saying?
should have.
The thing is,
Missed out
I
on
think
the
that's the
army.
majority of people, though. Like, especially in the U.S., like in a first world country, where, a lot of people are very lucky and have like a very, I don't know, fortunate circumstance, and they do go to college and they go to school, and they haven't had like a lot of these crazy situations or missed opportunities and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, even just thinking about like the places I grew up in or like people I talk to, they say like college was pretty much a requirement. It's like you're going to college.
Where did you grow up?
In Dallas, Dallas area, yeah.
Dallas.
So that's why I'm in Austin now. Is I was like, this place is cool, but bye everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you're pretty much expected to go to college, and it's like, well, if you take a step back, the majority of the world really doesn't expect you to go to college. It's like you're kind of privileged in that sense. You really don't think about
Yeah.
it, and you're like, okay, well, how many people have been successful who never even touched college? Or like Michael's a good example. He barely graduated high school, and he'll openly say that. But now here we are having successful jobs, and like, it's just very interesting the different venues that you could take, or even just military personnel. I think about how many people do that because they don't have the opportunities, or they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, this is the only way I can make a living. So here you go.
I know someone who went through a really bad breakup and then they joined the military, and it's like.
I was this close to being a Marine.
Was it
No.
Katy Perry? I'm just kidding. There's that music.
I was like, was she in the
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice Josh.
that was her.
Were you in
boyfriend.
that video too? Was that you?
Was that
Yeah,
a true story?
that
Was you?
me. It
in
was.
Katy Perry?
I dated
my
Katy
God.
Perry right before Rooster Teeth.
wow.
Yeah.
Were you on Catfish?
I wasn't. Yeah. I don't know what that is, but sure.
That's a real throwback.
Yeah, I think that was
That's
like one
the first
of the
episode.
first episodes of Always
Yeah.
Up when we filmed was
I don't
talking
even
about
remember
that
that, damn.
catfish episode. Someone thought they were dating Katy Perry. Because
Really?
this girl, I guess who he was talking to, told him that she was Katy Perry. And it was going on for like 6 years or something like that.
Brutal.
Huh.
And even after they realized he they were like, this is not Katy Perry.
Even
He's
when
like,
he met the girl
no.
who was talking to him,
Yeah.
he was still just like, I still think it's Katy.
Maybe there's a chance.
Yeah.
No,
Like
you
she had
don't
like a
know.
surrogate dater that she
Yeah.
sends out for her.
Yeah,
so
or
she's
just
so
like
busy on
someone
tour.
tricked him into
Yeah.
thinking that like it wasn't real, but it was. Jeez.
Huh.
Dope.
So do you have family in the military too, or were you the first one?
I was the first one of like, well, my granddad, who I never knew, he died like way before I was born, was in World War II. But like other than that, no, like no one. But then my mom got remarried, and her husband is big military. Like he's retired. He's like a special forces pilot. Like you've seen Black Hawk Down. He was the main helicopter pilot in the actual Battle of Mogadishu.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, he's
Wow.
hardcore.
Jeez.
So, but no, not before that. No.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Lindsay, what about you?
I was just gonna say my family was military pretty much until, let's see, my uncle was RTC, and then my grandfather was a colonel in the army for a while. But other than that, my father was the first person to be like, yeah, I'm not doing this, thanks. Like my elder brother
Broke
will do
the
it, but I'm
chain.
not going to. Yeah. So I had like the weird dynamic of like my father and family was like, military, whatever. But then everyone above them was like, military is awesome. Like you have to join. You got to do everything. Here's my lifestyle. So it's a weird blend.
So you had no military overnighters.
No, no, yeah. The only, I guess, like the worst overnighter for me was I stayed up all night doing
Coke.
Practicing for, I wish. See, that would have been the best all night.
Yeah, college was great.
I was doing a children's play for Maggie because she asked me to be in it.
Oh my God.
So we didn't, because we're lazy assholes, we didn't learn our lines at all until the day before
Oh,
we had to present
God.
it. And we're like, so we didn't do shit on this, right? Like no one knows anything. They go, okay, we'll stay up all night and we'll learn our lines. We'll run this like over and over again and we'll get it perfectly. So we spent all night going over all these lines that, again, for a children's play. So you got to be super high energy, very excited, like, yeah, I'm so stoked to be
like
here.
A kindergarten or something?
This was for her, like, children's teaching performance, basically. It's like an exam that she had, basically, for being a theater teacher. So at like 7 a.m, we finally go to her class, and we're all like delusional, super tired, and we just had to perform like, hey kids, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to see you. And then the second we left, we're like, oh my God, like, fuck this. Fuck everything. Fuck you kids. I don't care. I don't care.
It's always the worst when you have to put on the energy when you're like just beat. That happens at RTX, I think.
Yeah.
Where it's like you literally have no ounce of energy left, and then you have to be like, I'm here for you.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
And you are happy.
Yeah,
of course.
You can feed off of
genuinely
other
happy.
people.
It's not
that have
faking,
dimensions
but-
too. If someone comes up to the booth and they're like, I'm so excited to see you, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm excited to see you too. Like I've been given
Yeah.
life from your energy.
It's a
But-
vampiric kind of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't care about children that I'm performing for once. Fuck you, 5th graders.
Fuck those kids.
But now you care about your child.
It's true, yes.
Yeah. But I
Nice
assume
story.
everyone here's probably had pretty crazy overnighters for Rooster Teeth. Yeah?
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I've, like-
I
I've
had some
been-
for RTX a couple of years ago. When I was co-directing that with Gus, there was times when I'd slept at the office because I was
Yeah.
just like, I need to finish this by tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
I practically lived here for 7 weeks during 10 Little Roosters. Like I was, because
Yeah.
I would immediately finish cutting one episode, it would immediately go live, and then I would immediately start cutting the
and
next
then
one.
we would shoot the next day, and you would be like, "Here's your script
Yeah.
that I wrote last night."
Ugh.
Goodness. I
Yeah.
had the most overnighters, I think, for Rooster Teeth when we did the Blu-ray set.
Mm-hmm.
The big, thick one. That was when I first started here, and I was working under Brandon, and we were doing
Right.
that all night. And we even
Yeah.
had people volunteering. Like Cole was still just a fan at the time, and he came up to the office just to review our DVDs for us, like free of charge. He just wanted to help out.
Just a sweet, sweet boy.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool dude.
Still
Yeah.
is.
Still is a sweet, sweet boy.
No
I remember there used to be beds over here. You can't
Yep.
see it, but
Yeah.
back
Bunk
in this
beds?
office, in the broadcast office, used to be these like bunk beds.
Bunk beds,
And
yeah,
I would
they
just
were
go
over the
stay.
net, yeah.
I would stay in those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people would go up there and sleep in them, but I don't think the sheets were ever washed.
Ah, nasty.
No, I mean, no one was in charge of it, so they just sat there.
Gross.
I remember one time I think I had to get here super early, or I was staying super late or something, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like lay down, I'm just gonna chill for a while. And I got up, I like literally climbed up, and I was like, oh no, never mind. This is not a good idea.
Spray it with
Yeah.
disinfectant.
Jesus.
I think they ended up burning them because who knows?
Yeah, I
what
don't
they
know
found.
why they took them down. Chicken pox?
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, the
They
chicken pox.
officially had chicken pox in them?
Someone had chicken pox, and it turns out they had been sleeping in one.
No, I already
So
had
they-
chicken pox.
well,
I'm good
yeah,
to go.
same.
Good
Yeah.
to go.
It's dangerous though the older you get if you haven't had chicken pox, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
sounds
people
like
in this office
sounds
who-
like someone else's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got them when I was 4.
Speaking of problems,
Speaking of problems, let's pick out an issue from our box of issues.
you gotta shake it up.
All right.
I just like that box never actually even said box of tissues. You had to first write box.
I know.
Cross it out, yeah.
And then
We should sell this in the store.
we
Why
should.
is that not
Art
available
department
for purchase?
still busy.
They're still trying to make a movie.
Still making movies. All right. This question comes from an anonymous male, and he writes, I've been seeing this girl for a handful of dates now. We seem to be going pretty well, similar likes, have a good time hanging out, and have even transitioned into the bedroom. Where my problem arises, or doesn't. It's funny. I'm able to get it up with her giving oral or a hand job or even just being in the room. But when we transition to putting on a condom and getting to actual sex, I lose my erection. I know this is something that we need to discuss. I'm pretty sure it has to do with performance anxiety, as I'm a very shy guy, which I've told her so far, but we haven't discussed it farther than trying again later. So my question is, have any of you ran into this problem? And if you have or haven't, do you have any advice on approaching the topic? I really don't want to lose this girl over something as silly as my nervousness/self-doubt. This has happened 2 or 3 times so far and is a very bad hit to my self-confidence, which makes the problem worse. I have been able to make her orgasm with oral and fingering, which is a plus, but I'm assuming this isn't going to sustain the relationship without at least a bit of conversation.
Well, I think the first thing to say too is like, obviously he's very distraught about this. He wants to. It's very awesome that you're thinking about your girlfriend here too, and not like your needs. You're saying, hey, I want to be able to like please her
Yeah.
more. Is you also shouldn't take that as like a negative to yourself if you're not able to do so, or
Sure.
even please your partners. Like everyone has different things that's going on, both like internally, your emotions, physically, everyone's very different. And then your girlfriend's needs might be totally different too. So for you not to be able to satisfy her or even satisfy yourself is not, like, you're not a failure. You shouldn't think about that, one. And two, I agree that communication is the best thing. And it sounds like you're already taking steps to try and make her happy. Like, clearly you can make her orgasm. That's great. You're trying to explore other venues. But I think, again, just trying to talk to her and say, like, hey, this is kind of what happens with me, or here's my mindset while we're doing this. Maybe there's some things that you want to try out that you haven't felt comfortable talking about before. There could be steps you could take before the sex that you might enjoy that would help you get a little bit more aroused.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You ever experienced this problem?
I have. It's tough because stuff like that is cyclical, right? Like you start getting in a mindset, and then as soon as you like start a new, like you start getting frisky again, you get hit with like preemptive stress. You're like, oh God, like you're already
Get too
freaking
much in
out.
your head about
Yeah,
it.
like it's gonna happen again, and then it's hard to break that cycle.
Yeah.
Um,
Being on the girl side of this, because I've had this happen to me with guys that I've been with, and I get the sense that they feel very embarrassed and very bad about it. And I think there's like that instant reaction of like, is this me? Like, could you not get it up because you're not attracted to me? Or
Right.
did I do something or say something wrong? Or like, are you not like into the way I look? Like all these things start running through your mind. So I think as long as he's very open and honest about, this is not you, anything you're doing, this
Right.
is just me and me trying to like work through this issue.
Yeah. I mean, I would like I wouldn't take like, it may sound silly, but like I wouldn't take Viagra off the table for something.
Yeah, I was actually
And,
gonna maybe
like,
suggest that.
Yeah, I've taken it. I've gotten it. I've been in things like this where like it just doesn't work for a while, like
Yeah.
work stress or like.
Yeah,
I get-
well, there's
there's
this
so many
stigma
other
too that like
factors.
you only take Viagra if you're like malfunctioning or you're old.
Yeah.
It's like that's not the case
No.
necessarily. Like it can honestly just help the moment. Like you can take it at a case by case basis.
yeah,
It's fine.
and then it starts building that confidence. And it's like, okay, yeah, I rocked it last time,
Yeah.
so here we
Well,
go
because
again.
also maybe if you know, I don't know how young or old this guy is, but if Viagra is an option, it could be one of those things where you take it, you're able to get hard and enjoy sex and like know what it's
Yeah.
like, and then it kind of removes that anxiety from it of like, okay, we've done this, I know what it's like, she knows what to expect. So it's like, all right, this has happened. It's like the first time when you sleep with someone.
Yeah.
Like there's all that nervousness and pent up energy, but like once it happens, you're like, let's do it again. Like
Well,
you're
it's
good
like
to go.
Exactly why they have the term stage fright. It's like it's the same thing. Is once you're on stage and you're performing, or like even just in film or production, it's like okay, for the first couple times you're nervous as hell, might be sweating like crazy, you can't get your lines out. But the second you've done it, you're like, okay, now I know what to expect. Second time's gonna be better, and so on and so on and so on. Same
Yeah.
thing with sex.
That actually happened to me with Bloodfest. I was very nervous about being in the
Couldn't
movie.
get it up.
I couldn't
Yeah.
get it up.
Yeah.
It's very awkward for everybody involved.
No
But-
fluffer on set.
I need a fluffer. But
heard
the,
fluffer.
the first day, like right before I went to set for my first day of shooting, I was so fucking nervous. I was like, I'm not gonna remember my lines. I'm gonna look terrible. I'm not gonna be able to perform or do any of this. But once I was there and just did my first scene, I was like, I got this. I know, like, I feel good about this. I feel good about the cast, and it kind of removes all the doubt and worry that you had in the first place. So, I don't know.
Well, in the same sense of preparing for being on stage, just life in general, like there are certain, like for lack of a better word, like triggers you can
Yeah.
use to try and help yourself relax, or just like I'm thinking about vocal warm-ups or things where you can actually like allow your body to relax. I'm sure you can find similar things for pre-sex. Like, hey, there's something that we could talk about that might relax me, or if I put on some music, it might chill me out a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
even just taking a few minutes to breathe, literally just go, okay, like now you have the focus, just let everything else out. It's cool.
Yeah, I will say this too, and not to advocate for safe sex, because you should have safe sex, but condoms.
Get tested.
Condoms, yeah. If you both got tested and you're both fine.
she's on birth control.
She's on birth control. Like condoms really can be a pain sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that can kind of break it, and just like at least like I know when a guy's in, like it does like numb the feeling of sex to some degree. Like
Right.
it's not
And also it could like be tight or like all these different
Yeah.
factors involving.
Or I think, I mean, I don't know how long it takes to put one on, but I'm sure if you're like in the moment and then you're like, okay, let me break away from this, focus
Right.
on
Put on the
this, and
condom,
now
yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Well, see, that might also break too, but I was maybe still too graphic, but maybe not. I was thinking you could also suggest a cock ring.
Yeah.
That would help keep the firmness after some oral. If
Done
you wanted
that
to
before,
Yeah,
transition.
that
too.
goes like
Yeah.
right at the base, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about cock rings.
I would
this is like the one
research.
thing that I have not researched.
Yeah.
Research the cock ring, because there are some sizing issues. I've heard of people having like blood flow problems because of it. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole point, is they cut off
Because
blood flow.
it
but shouldn't do too much.
traps
Yeah.
the blood.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it could become a problem if it's too much. So
Yeah.
Make sure
I've
you
had
do your
good
research.
success with those. I'll say that.
I know
They
I've
work
heard of vibrating cock rings. Is that a thing too?
Yeah, have a few of those.
Yeah.
I love watching Mariel Mariel's face during any conversation.
I'm in cock rings. Love it. Bring them to me. Give me them. Bring them over.
I do like that there's one that I've seen that's like a big bolt. Like it looks just like a bolt you would put anywhere.
Yeah.
But I like one was left on the floor just hanging out like as we had a cleaning lady come by or something. And I was like, that's just for repairs. Oh no, the AC was broken. Get this out of here.
That's just a bolt. It fell off the ceiling. It's strange.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's also like too much pressure that people put on themselves for having sex for a long period of time. Like there's nothing wrong with doing oral and like all that fun stuff beforehand for a good period of time and then maybe like a few minutes of sex
Yeah.
or vice versa.
30 seconds, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Doesn't
Yeah.
need to be a marathon for
Panache,
sure.
That's what I call it.
Panache.
Panache.
Yeah.
Penetration.
Oh, I was like, are you trying to say panache?
Panache.
Penetration.
Penetration.
Penetration,
Nice.
as they
I
say.
love it.
Yeah. I forgot. There's some kind of sitcom that I watch. I can't remember what, but they're talking about how women don't enjoy having sex too long. They're like, keep it just right. Too long for women, it's like, all right, now we're bored. Let's get out of here.
I think we talked about it last time, like a cheeky 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
Good time frame.
It's
Yeah.
good. Anything that you start getting raw.
Jeez.
Well, good luck. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add. But
Keep us
man.
updated.
Yeah.
Be proactive. I'll say that. Don't let it get you down.
Don't let your bolts rust.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
There you go.
yeah.
Clean them proper.
And it seems like she's very understanding, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think as long as she knows it's not something that is an issue with her, she'll feel comfortable helping you through it. Because I think that could just be an ego blow to a lot of girls, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, too, I mean, maybe just being on the opposite side of the spectrum, too, is like maybe that would be something exciting for her. It's like, okay, what can I try to make you more interested? Or like, what could we
Yeah.
experiment with that would make this work?
She dressed up like a clown. or
Yeah.
Whatever.
What if you're
Yeah.
into that? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Never know. Role
It's
play.
coming up. That's a great movie. Pennywise is kind of attractive.
Yeah.
And
Got a big forehead. If you're into that.
Everything floats down here.
she ain't liking
Floats
that.
down here.
Yeah.
I've been on the opposite side of that to some degree too, though. I was dating a girl who
She couldn't get wet.
No, she could get wet, but she had trouble finishing.
Oh.
And she can only finish really. She had to be on top to finish.
See, I've
of
experienced
that
that
before.
with myself and with other women where it's like they really have to focus. They gotta
Yeah.
be like in the zone. It's
Yeah.
like, Jesus, I've been here for an hour. I'm like,
Yep.
Yeah.
fuck, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there have been times when a guy's been going down on me and it was like a while and I'm like, listen, I appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
This is just, I'm not gonna finish this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, even then too, like, do you help them at that point? Because I feel like that is what you should do. Is like, listen, I'm not trying to degrade you or like be patronizing or anything, and then sometimes they'll take it that way. But you say, hey, like, here's what I'm into, or like, actually, this spot's a little bit better for me. Why don't you move a couple inches over
So
here?
I'm
or
just like,
something?
here, let me get in there. You do some
Yeah.
other stuff to me, and
Yeah.
well, it's a team effort. And I think as long as there's like you don't get ego involved, I think a lot of people tend to get their ego hurt because of that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I couldn't finish them,
Yeah, it's
so
like,
there's
that's not
something
the
wrong with
case.
me. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, just I know what I like, and like we could just have fun together.
Yeah.
And
I've even heard people say like, I don't like telling people or my partner what I like because I feel like it's not like this silly romantic moment of
No.
like, oh, I didn't know, I just felt it. Like we felt the moment. It's like you
Yeah.
can give them pointers.
Yeah,
and
that's
Yeah.
like one of the first things ever. Like anytime, I mean, it's been dating someone obviously for a while now,
Yeah.
but like when I first start sleeping with someone, I mean, like first or second time, I'd already be like asking questions.
Yeah.
I'd be like, let me
See,
get
that's
this
smart.
right. So
That's
I can,
good.
yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
want to learn what someone likes, and maybe like you guys just need to communicate more and tell her like, oh, let's try this and this to maybe get you more.
Maybe a finger in the butthole.
Help me.
It does. It works.
Watch
It totally
Jerry
works.
Maguire. That's what they should do.
Does it work?
It absolutely works.
Finger in the butthole? Yeah.
That's right.
I feel like
Oh.
that's a
One
question
more for
next
finger
time.
in the butthole. See, I've got like a nice tally going of what guys enjoy it and what guys don't. It's always very interesting when I add another number to it.
Finger.
Like,
Yeah.
Josh is a yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You have like a spreadsheet for everyone who works.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's a very polarizing opinion.
Well, thank you, Anonymous Mail, for your question. Good luck. Hopefully, all goes well.
Yes.
If you have a question for us for Always Open, you can email alwaysopen@roosterteeth.com. Give us a question for our box of issues, or if you have a shot or the worst segment, anything you want, email us. And we also have a Facebook page.
Facebook page.
So go check us out. Always Open Show, I think is the link.
Yep.
Josh, Lindsay, Mariel,
Thank you.
Thank you.
to another week.
Thank you all. Yes.
Cheers on your empty glasses.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Empty glasses and empty drinks.